Hello, welcome. We're going to go over the release from last Thursday, the 29th of February. Let's jump right in. Customer portals have been updated. Uh, customer portal. Customer portal settings. We changed the name from customer portal settings to customer portal because now you can create multiple profiles for a single project or multiple projects that can be used for your specific project. So you don't, before you could only create one customer portal view for all your projects within your account. You can now create separate profiles based off whatever requirements are needed for that project or projects, and you can have your own profile set up. To show a good example of that, I just updated the logo for two different profiles, and you can easily see here, this is for Project Blue, only to be used for the Project Blue project in my account, and this one is for Walker Photo, to only be used for Walker Photo end users. So that's an excellent feature to use because some projects need specific logo or settings that aren't needed on another project. So that is a really good one. All right, next one. A while back, last year, I think, we introduced engineer efficiency factors. You could add to your engineers. If they were marked as an engineer, this pop-up would pop up asking you to input a engineer efficiency factor. A little reminder of what that means. The lower the number, the faster they are. Uh, the higher the number, the less. They're a little slower than an average person. Let me show you that in action here. So here, um, we have now added to the engineer popover as well, the efficiency factor. So you see I'm at 1, Mark Johnson's at 1.5, so he's a little slower than me, and Jim Brown's at 0.5, and he's faster than me. So what does that mean? We have a ticket here. Regardless, every ticket comes with its estimated duration. This one, for instance, is 1 hour. So for me, since my efficiency factor is 1, it stays at 1 hour. My appointment time is 1 hour exactly. If I move it to Mark Johnson, his has a 1.5 efficiency factor. You see the appointment extended to an hour and a half from here because his efficiency factor is 1.5. When I move to Jim Brown, his is 0.5, so it's going to shrink down to only 30 minutes because he's much faster, and his appointments only needs 30 minutes, and it disregards the estimated duration here. So that is good. Moving on. As you can see right here at the bat, but no longer we have a comms button here. We removed adding comments, the actual input of comments. Now we just have info, email, and SMS. To add a comment, we made it much easier, less clicks. You just simply click on this, you open up the ticket info comment section, and you can add whatever ticket info you need. We recommend adding for internal comments, just add internal info um, into your message and save it just like normal. Access to other sections if you have an enterprise account for email and SMS quickly and easily. All right, now to my personal favorite one, forms. We have now redesigned the form designer to be full screen. So now when you're designing your forms, it's now full screen. Before you click on a form, you create a new form. It was just half the screen and it was just limited space. In order to update each of your field settings, you had to click on the pencil icon, make your settings, hit save, go back to the next one, click on the icon, make your changes, hit save. Now it's much easier. You have your parameters here, you have your fields here. Once you're done adding your fields and all that, and you want to just work on field your settings, you can simply collapse that form and start working on your settings here. You can collapse this one too if you want to look at your form in full glory. You're free to. Now, I'm going to move on to the next feature, and then with the next feature, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a new form. Next feature is we have new fields we added here. GPS based is a Boolean field, and latitude and longitude are input fields. Um, these are for the projects that do not have um, that have locations that are in remote areas in Africa or oil rigs off the coast somewhere. And before we had no way of inputting any address because they didn't have a physical address to input. We've now made your life easier and you can input a latitude, longitude from anywhere in the world, and we will be able to create a ticket for you. Now, with that, I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to update your form when creating when designing a new form with these new fields. So in this case, I'm going to add this new fields and it's linked. So you have to take all three. So now I want on my create ticket form, I want to be able to choose if it's GPS based or not. The default is no. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to update my latitude settings. So when it's GPS based is true, I'm going to show the latitude and longitude fields. Let's see how quick and easy it is now to update your settings on your form. So now these are set to true. Now my street name, I want to set it to false. If it's GPS based is false, then I want to show the address or the street name field. Same with these fields here. Additional address info I'm going to keep regardless of which one they select because that's good to have. The zip I'm going to hide. And city I'm going to hide. And while it is checking, when you fill out the form, if you input latitude, longitude, the system's going to automatically check if there is an address nearby. It will automatically find the address in the country and input it into the address fields as needed. If it doesn't, it won't add it for you. So now that we have that, the settings set up, I'm going to save my form. And let's see what it looks like in action here. So now when I go to my create ticket form, I have a new option here. By default, I had it no, so I'm showing my address fields. If I hit yes, it switches to latitude and longitude, and I could just input those inputs there, any additional info, save my ticket, and it's going to create a ticket. I'm not going to do that now, but I will show you some examples of already created ones. So 165, I input the latitude and longitude, but as you see, it was here in Nuremberg, so there was an actual address near that location, so the system automatically added the country, the city, the zip code, and the street address because there was an actual physical address near it. In this case, there was no physical address because it was in the middle of the ocean, so it just adds the latitude and longitude because there's no physical address to put there. So that's a really great feature that'll help a lot of people out. All right, another good one. We have improved the history log entry section here. Before you could deselect rather of what you don't want to see in the history log. Now we've changed it to where you select the one you do want to see. So it makes it much quicker and easier to look at the history logs that you want to see. So if you want to see these two, you just click on these two. You don't want to see that one no more. You want to see this one. And you want to reset it to see all again, just simply hit the reset filter button and you'll see all the history logs. On-call duty comments. You can now add comments to on-call duties. This was not possible before. Before, you could simply just create an on-call duty, but there's no way to leave a comment. Maybe there's a reason, maybe you specified in something, you need to add a comment. You now see we have a comment field. When you're adding a comment from the admin panel or adding an on-call duty from the admin panel, you can add a comment, or you can do it directly from when you're managing availabilities on the timeline, which I will show you here. Simply right-click as before, manage availabilities. Where you want to set an on-call duty. He's been on call for 3 hours. Leave your comment, save it. And now you'll see your on-call duty here. You'll see the comment in the on-call duty itself, on the timeline itself, and in the popover. So you see a popover, you can see the comment there as well. So that should make dispatcher's life a bit easier. All right, another cool feature. We've added a new setting to projects that when switched on, right here, automatically assign follow-up tickets to the same engineer. This is going to, when you create a ticket and you have the CNE parent and you create a new ticket with a CNE parent, the system, when you create the ticket, the system is going to go through and check all previous tickets and see if there's a CNE parent that matches the senior parent from the current open ticket. If it does find it, it's going to assign the last engineer and lock them to the new ticket. I'll show more on that after I announce the next feature, which synergizes very well with that new feature, and that is clone tickets. You can now clone tickets directly from the ticket details tab. We've added a new action icon here. It simply just opens up a create ticket form where you can just clone the ticket. It's going to have all the same data in this ticket. You can make your adjustments as needed and then hit save, and it'll create a new ticket with all the same information here. We also have a new form type in forms, clone. This is what you're going to use to to design a form that you want behind this action icon button here. So whatever clone form that matches the project will open up once you click on the clone ticket form. Now, with the last feature I announced with the automatic assignment engineer works really well with this new clone ticket form. So as you see here in my clone ticket form, I have the senior parent in here. So let's see both of those new features uh, working here together. So I have a ticket example. Which one is it? 153. So in this case here, engineer left a message, he needs a new ticket. So we're just going to simply go clone ticket, select the project. You see it all is pre-populated with the same details from the last ticket. I'm not going to make any changes here, but you see it even collects a CNE parent. And when you hit clone, it's going to make a new ticket. Right here. And you see I'm automatically locked to this ticket because I was the last ticket from the previous ticket. So that is locking me. That is the first feature I showed you with the automatically assign up engineers to follow-up tickets and the clone ticket feature uh, working very well together. Now you don't have to have the project switch on. If you don't have the project switch on to automatically assign engineers, it's still going to clone the ticket. It's just not going to lock the last engineer from the matching senior parent ticket. So they work very well together. All right. Container tickets got some love. Just a reminder, container tickets are tickets used. You can convert a ticket to a container ticket, and they're used for rollout projects or long-standing projects that you don't want to create 20, 30, 40, 100 tickets. You want to create one ticket and work off that one ticket with different interventions on that one ticket. So what is the feature? The feature is creating multiple appointments much easier and much quicker. So let's convert this one to a container ticket. I'm going to, oh, I can't use that one, sorry. That one already has something going on. Let me just go here. So now I'm going to select multiple appointments. And now we have a new switch here. When you select this switch, before I can click on a single day, and I can create a single appointment. Now I'm going to click on multi-day, and I just simply need to select one spot here, select the end. Where's that? Let's start here. And then you see it pre-selects every day. So I click on that, put in my input times. This is going to apply to every intervention created. Select my engineer, and then hit save. And that just created multiple appointments in one go. And you see, once you go back, you can adjust each individual appointment as needed. If there's different times needed, you can adjust each day, or if you don't want weekends, you can remove the weekend appointment as needed. So that is excellent feature, speeding up creating multiple appointments for container tickets greatly. All right, moving on to back to the admin panel. We have a new dynamic conditions to use for your ticket scoring. So we've added two more options here, ticket creation time and ticket import time. You can now create more dynamic ticket scores as needed for your ticket scoring. We have improved the workload calculation. So let me go to a better ticket here. Let's just go here. All right, so now we have the workload calculation. Before, the workload calculation showed here, right? And every time you had adjusted the time and duration, it recalculated and re-put this based off of what was visible in the timeline. That is no longer the case. No matter what duration you have, no matter what time you have set up, the calculation will always stay the same, uh, regardless. So it's basically using the whole 24-hour period on the timeline and not um, recalculating every time you change the duration or change the time that you want to look at here. What also is good is that now we have absences are counted with the workload calculation. Before it was just using the ticket time was calculating the calculation. Now it's considering the drive time as well as absences. So now when you add an absence, you'll see, what day am I on? 21. Now when you see an absence is added, it will calculate that absence in there as well. So let's say he's going to be absent towards the end of the day. Yeah, that's fine. Absence has been added. And now you see the workload calculation jumped up to 60% because it's now considering the time of the absence as well as the ticket time as well as the drive time. So that is very welcome. A little small one here, account partners. Account partners, before you could add, you had account partners here and you have a little assigned tickets via partner portal, but in order to know that, you had to click on each account partner to see if they're a partner portal partner or not. And now we've added a new column here um, that shows at a glance on the overview page if this account partner is a partner portal partner or not, quickly and easily without having to click inside each partner. All right, some other improvements. We have improved the map. So you had before, you had engineers on the map, and you removed an engineer or made an engineer inactive, they would persist on the map still. That is no longer the case. So once you set an engineer inactive, um, starting from that day they're set inactive, they'll no longer be visible on the map going forward. So it'll no longer be an issue. We have removed some invalid fields. There were some fields that were on the intervention report page that are no longer needed. There's nothing really to show you because they're not there no more, but no longer will they bother your dispatchers with these irrelevant fields no more. Automated actions, we have increased for external calls with API. We have increased the URL to accept a lot more characters. I think the limit was like 200 characters before, which is very limiting. Now it's, you can add as much as you need. Some URLs are very long, so we don't need to restrict you there anymore. Parts, when there is a part added, or rather, if there's a part that's using a PUDO and the part is removed, a single part is removed from a ticket, the PUDO will now be removed from the timeline. Before, there was PUDOs would persist on the timeline even though the part was been canceled. That is no longer the case. So once a part is canceled, it'll remove the PUDO. If there's two parts in a PUDO and you remove one part, nothing changes because the PUDO is still needed. They still need to go to the PUDO to pick up the one part. So if it's a single part, single PUDO, that PUDO will be removed. All right, that's what I have. What do we have for questions here?
Thank you, Michael. And with that, let me also invite Sophia on stage. Yeah, we have a few questions. So let me actually invite her. Thank you, Sophia, for joining us. Let's start with the first one. Which source is used for the location detection?
Okay, so welcome everyone also from my side. Let me answer this question first. So we have a geolocation service which actually based on the GPS coordinates would request Google service to provide us with the ticket's location. And I think Mike mentioned in case it finds a country, it would fill up the country, or if it would find a more exact address, even with a street or so on, our system would fill that as well based on the Google service data.
Thank you, Sophia. The next question is, does additional info influence the search of the location?
No, it has no influence. Like mentioned, the latitude, longitude, which builds up the geo-coordinate data, is the one which defines the location of the ticket.
Great, thank you. And next one, what happens if engineer is not available within LSDT?
So this is a more complex question. So what we do when we assign engineers to follow up tickets is no more that on the ticket creation, you will see an appointment on the ticket with no date and time, only an engineer logged to that. So what does it mean in practice? It depends on your setup. Let's say if you allow on your customer portal to book time slots even without available engineer, it is possible. But if you set up a validation, it is not possible. Then the customer would see that there is no engineer availability on selected dates, so the customer can only pick those dates which are available for this engineer. But of course, we offer the possibility in the application to deliver the ticket on time before LSDT, if that's utmost important. So the dispatchers actually go to our workplace. They can, by the use of scheduling assistant, or if the ticket is already on the timeline, they can unlock from this engineer this ticket. So that means that either the customer portal, optimizer, or other scheduling services makes it possible to book it for other engineers who have availability. So this way you can always meet the LSDT.
Thank you. And next one, can we suppress enable the clone ticket functionality on a project base?
So right now we do not offer any limitations based on project, but what I can add here, that the clone ticket functionality is only available for those roles where the create ticket permission is enabled. So if you don't want all the dispatchers to have access to the clone ticket functionality, then you just go to the admin panel, customize their roles and permissions, and do not allow them the ticket creation. Therefore, they won't see the clone ticket button either.
Just to add to that, I'm displaying here that the create ticket and clone ticket are the same permission here now. So if you just turn this off, they won't have access to create tickets or the clone ticket option.
Great. Thank you, Michael. The next one, can you also pick only specific multiple dates?
If I get the question correctly, this was for the container tickets and the scheduling assistant. If there is any limitation, which are those multiple dates that you can select. So how it works, that we support the initial appointment creation, the bulk appointment creation. So starting today, up until any date, you can select a date range, and then it will create those separate appointments, as you can see on the screen, one by one. Later on, if you would like to edit those, then you would need to edit them one by one or add new ones. There is good reason for that, because in real life, it is happening that if engineers are working on the same ticket for a week, then some appointments, some interventions are already done and reported. So we do not allow them to be edited, but we still allow to edit appointments in later point of time. And that's the reason that only the creation is made this easy, and the later editing still happens one by one.
Thank you. And a last one. Why does workload calculation not respect the shift length?
I'm not sure I get what the requester is asking here, but let me explain a bit so it might be more clear. So what do we do? That on the timeline, you always need to select a certain date. And most of the times business makes up the schedule for this whole day. So that's why we decided that the workload would be calculated for this whole day. So regardless on your Zoom level or the start time, you see the timeline, you will see the workload based on that day. But we do take into account the work shifts or the working hours. So if, for example, one engineer would have just 5 working hours a day, another would have 10 working hours, then 1 hour ticket would mean 20% for the one who is working 5 hours and 10% only for the engineer who is working 10 hours. So this way, actually, we make it proportionate in the calculations. And also with the absences, as you can see on the screenshot, we consider when the working hours are taking place, and then we also take into account how much of the working hours are already occupied by an absence. If it's fully occupied, we already treat it that the engineer is 100% busy with something else during the day. But if it's just a half-day absence, it means 50% on the engineer is still free to deliver new cases.
Perfect. Thank you. That was all from the question side. So thank you as well, Michael, for the presentation. As always, you're free to visit the Fieldcode manual for more details of the release notes that Michael went through today. And of course, in approximately a month, we will send you the invitation for the next webcast. So thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.